speaking too authoritatively about texts, because I'm fundamentally a reader of texts. I read it more closely than most, but at core, that's what I'm doing, reading it and then doing my best to capture some aspect of it and put that into English. The two essays I had to translate for this issue were quite different. Mariana Enriquez's essay on Cormac McCarthy is much more journalistic. It's got punchier language. It was also written at a time when McCarthy was still alive. So I thought it was really important to try to capture, like to retain those verb tenses that clearly suggest this is happening in a moment when McCarthy is still with us. And then Leonardo Valencia's essay, apparently part of a much longer essay on reading and writing and what it is to be a writer who reads and a reader who writes, is very complex and theoretical in a way, very heady, I guess you could say. It's very, very complicated and abstract in a way that obviously a biography of McCarthy is not. And so that was challenging just in trying to really, fundamentally understand what it was Valencia was saying. There's a really beautiful section at the beginning where he talks about what it is to revisit a novel many years after you've read it before and to realize that things that you have read in the past and incorporated into your own understanding of the world and attributed to that novel are in fact things that you came up with yourself, inspired by that novel. And so the novel itself changes as the reader changes and as the writer changes. So anyway, I found both challenging in different ways with the Enriquez essay. I found myself going very far back in the New York Times archives looking for the original interviews that were being quoted and trying to figure out what quote exactly was actually included in the essay. And with Valencia, I was definitely quizzing my native Spanish-speaking friends. What does this mean? And I've never read Rayuela, so I had to ask, what is going on when she's describing, when Valencia is describing the plot of Rayuela, Cortázar's famous novel Hopscotch. Since I hadn't read it, I didn't have much context for, a man creeping across a plank to stare into a morgue. Anyway.